I was able to acquire some tickets to the Metallica show here in Nashville tonight. I thought, what better excuse to talk about metal with my old pal Jared James Nichols than this glorious occasion where we're actually both going to the show. It's just funny, hey, you going to the Metallica show? Yeah, dude. So I've had Jared on my channel before, but if he's new to you, get ready for a treat. We're two peas in a pod. Two picks in a dryer. We talk a lot about metal and Metallica, of course, since we're going to the show, but this is an overarching metal conversation and what it means to be influenced by metal, even if you don't really play it as your main thing. I am heavily influenced by a ton of different metal bands, and yet I don't really write metal music or pertain to metal insofar as other metal specific players. And I think that's common ground for a lot of guitar players. So we're gonna get into all that, along with some hilarious stories and some incredible guitar playing. Spoiler alert, Jared's playing this Explorer, and so he holds it in classical position, and as a result, that headstock gets in the way of my fretboard every now and then, but you've seen plenty of my guitar playing. Check the link in the description for Jared's tour dates and an upcoming album. I'm sure we'll talk about that later because something tells me that he may be showing his face a little bit more often on my channel.
Is that Welcome Home? Sanitarium? Is that what it is?
I think it's Fade to Black.
No.
Because there's also...
That's one. Is that Fade to Black?
That's Fade to Black.
Okay. Play it.
Metallica for the first time, I was like, wait, songs can have this many different riffs in them? Which is like, okay, as a beginner, I'm gonna try that one first. And then I remember my friend learned this before me.
Right.
And I came over to his house and he started going.
Yes. Gorgeous.
And I was like, I didn't know that was the same song. I was like, oh, but that's just this one riff song.
When we think of like all these awesome, I don't want to use the word classic, heavy rock songs, you're like, dude, that riff. Metallica, it's like those riffs.
Those riffs.
It just keeps going. It's like even that when it goes to that, I don't know how to play it. With that little part, it's like all of a sudden this one comes in, you're like, dude, that's sick. And it just keeps building and building. If there's like Iommi in that world.
Yeah, let's do the Mount Rushmore metal.
First one has got to be.
I heard this kind of thing.
Oh boy.
The galloping.
Give me a pick. That's so sick.
Here.
Oh, we're gonna share it?
Share it.
I'm just gonna throw it, it's gone, dude. Okay. Well, okay, we did Iommi. Well, then I have to say too, and this is like old school, but if we're gonna go, all right, let me think though. If we got that era,
Jimmy Page in a metal context is always a funny, like an
That is kinda
interesting
weird.
thing because his stuff is very dark and can be made metal as you just made it. Randy Rhoads, the Aussie guitarist, pick which one you want, but they all had that kind of harmonic aspect adding to the wall of power.
there's such like a common thread with it where it's like you can watch like a timeline of just like how it blooms. Blues to classic rock to the hard rock of the 70s, and then all of a sudden it's like punk comes out, and then in this time metal's forming underneath, you know, it's like the afterthought of the 70s. All this like aggression, like even for me, like I don't even play with a pick, but when I play like a lot of riffs, I'll take that directly out of that playbook. Like let's just say we're playing an A and I'm going classic Ozzy, right?
Yeah.
So the Sabbath thing. But like Metallica was like originating right among that time, like that new thrash sound. And everything, I just feel like it was like the more riffs, the better. Attitude like takes it over the edge. And it doesn't matter, I feel like if you're a guitar player or you just love rock or whatever it is, when you hear those riffs, you react in a certain way. When I hear that, yeah, you're not hearing a lot of, you know, thirds, fifths construction, right?
You can go anywhere. It's just a wall of power.
It's a wall of power, and also when it's played live at like the appropriate volume, you're just like.
Last time you were on, we went deep into the blues, and rock in general, I think, is your underlying theme. But
oh yeah,
how does this music get into what we already are as players?
I was hearing what was being played on the radio, which would have been like the early 2000s, right? And I don't mean like just Limp Bizkit.
Dude, I was going to say...
just one of those things. As a kid, you're just like, yeah. And then I remember hearing, I don't know that riff. You know how to play that one?
Where Am I Wrong?
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, dude.
Yeah.
And then it came to this thing where it was like, I was hearing all these riffs and then going back and hearing Hendrix and Cream and all this stuff. I was like, oh, there's like a red thread that rolls in between all this stuff.
That's a good way to phrase that, because Hendrix would do like a... So he's putting little things in between, right? And then Metallica...
Dude, yes.
It's like the same kind of thing, just metal.
Yeah, and with that too, it's like when you think of Hendrix, you think of Purple Haze, right? And he is literally hitting the flat five.
Yeah.
So it's that. But he's hitting. You know what I mean?
Isn't the bass doing that? Like,
yeah, dude. And then you hear Sunshine of Your Love, right? That note is that Sabbath riff I was playing earlier, though. It's that origination of that sound. And beyond metal, it's like there's like this formative thing. Like I was listening to Nirvana on the way here,
right.
And there's that song "School." You ever heard that song?
School.
It's on the first record, which would have been like '89, Bleach. But it's like that note is part of riffs, melody, but also just like bone-crushing like simplicity. Where it's like you don't have to be a musician. You hear it, you go, man, that's a badass guitar riff.
It's something that I've learned hanging out with people like you and getting to hang with all these incredible guitarists. Like, the importance of rhythm transcends genre.
I feel like as guitar players, we're always searching to be a little faster, be a little more, you know, like, oh, I got to get this under my fingers or whatever. And sometimes what we really need to be working on and what we should really be conscious about is the groove, is the rhythm of a riff. When I first started touring, one of my first big tours was with Black Label Society.
Okay.
And Zach.
Incredible.
I got asked to do like a world tour. A lot of the venues we were playing, people are diehard metalheads. And we went all over the world, man. We were in like all over Europe, Canada, America, everywhere. And we would get booked on these metal festivals. So if you can imagine me playing at the Czechoslovakia or, you know, Czech Metal Fest. And you're like, we show up and there's people that are literally in like corpse paint. And I'm like, dude, how are we going to pull this off?
Yeah.
But the one thing that I noticed from like all that touring and being in those rooms and almost having to like prove myself in a weird way to these crowds, it was all about your attitude and it was all about the energy. So it's like, I remember we used to play this mountain song called Never in My Life, right? And the riff, it went, so it started. So the riff comes in, it's. So that's the riff, right? But when we went out there and we like hit it with a hammer, people were like, yeah. And I would see these people that are like hardcore metalheads and they're like, yeah. And that showed me like it all comes from that same place, you know?
Yeah.
It's like the attitude.
It's really a beautiful thing when you can communicate with people like that and you can see it happening in real time.
Yeah, dude.
And you're like, hey, just so you know.
Yeah.
Like you speak that word too, right? Like,
Yeah,
you understand
totally.
this language.
I think Metallica did that so well too. And people talk about Hammett and they're like, ooh, Hammett. It's like, dude, to me personally, the things that he played on those recordings and the way that he approached that was gorgeous. Had someone of technical insanity playing those solos, it wouldn't give you the same
It
feel.
wouldn't. Kirk Hammett's sort of like a gateway drug.
He is
To the next whatever nerd level of guitar playing because he does everything that you kind of, as a budding guitar player, I would say, because everybody discovers Metallica earlier than later, in my opinion.
100%.
So whether or not you want to, like that will just happen, and he is the ultimate communicator of what's in your head, not as a virtuoso necessarily, and I don't think that's like bashing anyone to say that.
No.
It's accessible in a way that is clearly has validity among us all. So
he is the gateway drug. I think that's the best way to put it.
how many noises can you make at the
Dude,
end?
I'm trying to squeal so bad. Dude, I remember I used to think I was so cool. I go like this.
Oh yeah. Oh.
Yeah. Or if you're like Trick, you do like the whole slap. Yeah, that's sick.
Yeah, I still don't get how you do that with one finger.
Isn't that weird? It's like you have to like squeeze it up.
I gotta work on that. You gotta be like one of the only people who can do that.
And then like if you really get it nasty, like hello.
Your guy Zach Wild's the master of that on these
Dude.
thick boys. It's just like,
There it is, dude.
there it is.
Fucking,
It always takes like
you gotta do it like third time's the charm.
like where is it? Where's the node?
I got a great story. You'll love this. I was on a tour and my band was in Europe and I got booked to play some clinics in Dubai, Egypt. Where else did I go? Turkey, right? And I was on my own.
Right.
I show up to this one in Cairo, and for some reason, someone there, they got their wires mixed up, dude, because they thought that I was there to jam Metallica songs.
Oh, okay.
And it was in this mall, and like probably 60 guitar players showed up with their guitars, and they're like, okay, let's play Ride the Lightning. And I'm like, dude, I don't know. Like, you know, I didn't know how to do any of that stuff.
Right.
But the one song that I learned when I was a kid, you know, and it was kind of like a rite of passage was...
Turns out you might know it.
And then I remember going, all right, what we'll do is we'll have like a train, dude.
Yeah.
Like everyone will just jam over that. And for an hour, I sat up there and I did that, and I was like, these people think I'm like an American dude that like knows all the Metallica. I'm like, what the is going on?
We're just gonna play the flat five.
Just play the flat five. Just keep coming, man. Dude, it's so much fun to just like play though, like recklessly. It's just so much fun.
That's honestly what Metallica and metal music encapsulates for me. Is just I'm having fun every time. There's no other music that puts a smile on my face like, oh yeah, like it's almost intimidating but in an exciting way.
I feel
goosebumps talking about it.
Dude, I feel like alongside with what you just said, put your own attitude, and it's like you can put your angst in there if you're happy or sad, whatever you have, and it's just have fun. There's no rules. That's it.
All right. I think we don't have to film anymore.
That's awesome.
Seeing your faces show up for it too, it still blows our mind. We are very grateful. Thank you, Metallica family, for coming here and supporting live music, all right?